Hi, I'm Dani. I'm the game producer at Level99, and this is the story of how Starship came to life. A lot of us grew up watching different shows and movies, and that desire to be in a starship translates to a lot of people. All of them had these really cool interior scenes of the ship, and some of them are grungy and like all these loose wires hanging out, and some of them are very clean, pristine. So we thought it would be really cool to use this as an experiment to make different parts of the ship.
Bridge to engine room. We have multiple system failures.
This is a starship called Axia, and there's a couple different places that you can kind of see the name and also the shape of the ship. It's not just this is a starship and there's different levels. There's actually also different snapshots in time, which is kind of a fun concept that we got to play with. There's a lot of iteration that goes through all of these games. Yeah. For engine room, a lot of math behind which ports need to be lit up when, how long the batteries charge for, which cords go to which port. All of those things I find very fascinating. One of our engineers, Clint, did a fantastic job for the look and feel of the way that in engine room, the heads of the batteries that go into the ports, we needed it to be resettable, so you couldn't just put it in there and leave it because then you'd have a reset problem. So we needed that to be a press and hold, but it needed to feel good, and I think that he did an exceptional job. There's a lot of design in that, and we had to 3D print them to think about durability and accessibility, but the look and feel of it just feels really satisfying. People use it a lot, but there's not a necessarily, and nor should there be, a depth of understanding of like how much time and effort went into like even just the feel and how that reacts.
Alien substance detected on the engine room level.
Evacuate was looking to invoke a very specific high anxiety, skill under pressure, intense emotion. There's like a good anxiety and there's a bad anxiety, and I really wanted to ride that line with this game.
Oh no!
So everything is geared towards that time pressure feeling very imminent. Everything about the sound, the music, everything intensifies the farther you get in there. The reason that you mess up is probably because you're anxious.
Systems failing. I can feel my memory drive dissolving.
I found it very fun and rewarding. The drawing and designing of all of the mazes in Evacuate. I did probably over 70 versions of the mazes to try and get the level of complexity right, to try and get like the first chamber to the second to the third, the right progression, make sure that they could all reset. It's a simple concept. It's moving point A to point B. The anxiety is what makes it hard and putting that time pressure on it. I really enjoy games that are pretty polarizing sometimes, like you either love it or you hate it. I think invoking emotion is really fun. For Specimen, I think advice for conquering it is find your roles and hone them. Figure out your technique, talk about your strategy with your team, who's best at which station, and get good at those, and that's gonna be how you're gonna 3-star Specimen. For Engine Room, I think there's a lot of keeping your head on a swivel and communication, because you can zone out on your own battery for a while, but there are batteries that require teamwork, and being aware of what's going on in your room and your environment and what your teammates need versus just sticking to what you're focused on. So I think a level of communication and just observation in Engine Room is very helpful. Also, you gotta know how to mix your colors. Brush up on your color mixing before you go in. Evacuate. Hold it like a pencil, not an ice pick. I see it so often. They hold it like this, and I'm like, hold it like a pencil. You'll have so much more fine motor movement. So that's my advice for Evacuate, is be careful how you hold it and make sure you're keeping it flat versus tilting it, because that's gonna keep your magnet as close as possible. The other kind of tidbit for Evacuate is the better you do in each chamber prior, the more time that you bank for later chambers. If you do well in chamber 1, you get to keep any time that you saved and use it in further chambers. So the faster you are in the beginning, the more chance you have of succeeding in the later chambers.